WT slaying.
Salama family, Salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. We're gonna talk about the ADL, and I'm gonna do something a little dangerous, and I'm gonna put the link out there. But y'all can't come on here being bad. You hear me now, right? Y'all start with that anti-Semite stuff. I know y'all Shemitic, cause Semitic, whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. Don't get me kicked off this channel. I'm putting it out there. I'm trusting y'all. And I don't want to have to kick y'all off. So we're going to talk about this interview. All right, so I pinned the link. See up at the top, it says be respectful. And it seems to me that we won the argument. You know, like I mentioned on my other show, how we fought for years. Oh, there's no black Jews in Africa. There's no black Jews in Africa. There's no black Jews in West Africa. Y'all not the people. To, you know, Dr. Brown saying we the people, and other Ashkenazi Jews admitting we're the people. So I'm gonna start adding some people in here, and I'm gonna share the videos. Sister Shonda, welcome. Say hi to the family.
Peace and blessings, family. I just came up in here to be nosy. That's all. I want to see what you're talking about today.
All right. You're welcome on. Brother Karis, say hi to the family.
Hey, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Yeah, I'm with Sister Shonda on this. I saw ADL had conceded. You said we won. I want to see what prize we won.
I don't know if we won a prize, but we won an argument. Right? We won the argument. Now I'm sure them people on Berean TV ain't nothing gonna satisfy them, right? But as far as us proving it, nobody's really fighting it anymore. All I'm saying is I don't even want my 40 acres and a mule. I want my reparations, and I want my ticket to Africa. So let's get started on this. I'm gonna share this, and we're gonna comment on it.
Of other important kind of civic entities with the Black community, the Asian community, LGBTQ community. We're going to share what we learned. We can do more to fight anti-Black racism and hate, and this is one very direct way we can do that.
I want to go back to something you just said. You said, you know, you acknowledge there are Black Jews, there are African-American Jews.
100%.
Some people think saying that they're labeled anti-Semitic. What is the difference between saying, hey, which is a fact there are Black Jews, and what y'all consider anti-Semitic in that conversation?
I don't know anyone could, I mean, the fact there are Black Jews is just a statement of truth. I don't think that's anti-Semitic. I mean, I think, let's also acknowledge that Judaism is a wide spectrum, right? So you have Orthodox Jews who speak Yiddish, who, you know, eat strict kosher and observe the way they do. And then you have very Reformed Jews who, like me, like I'm conservative Jewish, actually. I have a kosher home. I go to synagogue on Saturday mornings. I observe all the holidays, but I don't wear a kippah, for example, And then there are other Jews who say, I would never set foot in a synagogue, but they feel culturally Jewish. They identify as Jewish because it's complicated. It's a religion. It's an ethnicity. It's a culture. It's just not something you can just say is about, like showing up on a Saturday morning.
I'm going to pause right there. It's a religion, which is what they are. It's an ethnicity. It's a culture. Now, understand this. The question is, who's the religion, who's the ethnicity, and who's the culture, which group? So, but let's continue.
So with all that said, there's a range of practice and observance. So there are plenty of Black Jews who go to what you might call traditional Jewish synagogue. Then there are other communities like the Black Hebrew Israelites. Now, there's a range of practice even among Black Hebrew Israelites. There's a large community of them in Israel who identify as Jewish in a traditional way. And then you have the guys in Times Square who observe in a way that's not so traditional, I would say.
They would say y'all aren't Jews. It would say that, what they say, white people are not the original Jews, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
And look, they're entitled to their beliefs until that justifies shooting Jewish people with pellet guns on Staten Island. Or like, this is December. 3 years ago, December 2019, 2 Black Hebrew Israelites went into a kosher supermarket in Jersey City and killed 3 people because they said they weren't real Jews.
Wow.
I'm going to pause it right there. We're going to listen to some more, but it seems to me, that is not true, right? We've already proved that the guys who went in there were not Hebrew Israelites, right? Who went into that store and shot those people. So what do you all think, Sister Shonda and Brother Karras? Now, there's a religious Jew, there's a cultural Jew. He says there's the Black Hebrew Israelite Jews, there's the traditional Black Hebrew Israelite Jews, like the ones in Dimona, but then there's the Jews who are in Times Square talking about the camps, never denying who we are. And then they say, well, they say y'all not the real people. He never said we are the original people. He said you can have the opinion that you want. So along with Dr. Brown, along with all of the different rabbis admitting who we are, it seems to me like I've said in my other show, it's not even an argument anymore whether or not we the Jews. What y'all think?
I think this is the toughest pill that they have to swallow, that the entire world has to swallow. And it's like, instead of just being honest about the reality of all the information that we've put out over the years, especially what y'all have done, especially what Pastor Kelly and B'nai Israel and so many others, Truth Unedited, have dug up, instead of just being open and honest, it's almost like, you have to strong arm them to just tell the truth. And this particular person, Greenblatt, he's one of the biggest people who came against Kyrie for posting the link that he posted. And so at the end of the day, now he gets on and he's like, oh, I'm backpedaling a little bit, because there are historically speaking, yes, there are true Black Jews, if you will. Okay, well, why did it take you all these weeks later on to say the truth? Why did you put Kyrie through all that you put him through in order to admit that? Because and for me, it's because, again, it's like we talked about weeks and weeks ago. This is the doing of the Most High. It's the doing of Yah. And he's forcing their hand. They think that they're in control, but they're losing it at the seams, because every time they try to squelch this truth, it just, like a fire, it goes out further and further and further and further. So now they're playing cleanup. That's the way I see it. They're playing cleanup.
You think that we presented too much evidence that they couldn't deny it anymore, so now they sort of got to control it?
100%. 100%, because, it's like a lot of people have said that it wasn't Kyrie in the post. It was the way the media and the ADL came at this whole situation that intrigued them further. It was like, well, why are y'all being so defensive? because you're being so defensive, that actually makes me want to go and look and see what this documentary, Hebrews to Negroes, is about. And so they did their damage because of the fear of this truth coming out. They damaged their own selves. So now they're playing cleanup. Everybody all over the world now is aware that this truth has come to the mainstream.
Oh, yeah.
So praise the Most High for Brother Ron Dalton, but it's so much bigger now than Hebrews to Negroes. Everyone is looking everywhere that they can. And for sure, the work that y'all have put in, you know, I've done the things that I've done on my channel, and I'm thankful for what the Most High has given me. But you guys have like really, really done the laborious work down to the DNA conversations and interviewing on the continent. Our elders like Cohen Hamadishi, shout out to Sister E. So the whole thing is there's just so much evidence now that's coming to the forefront. They have to acknowledge, they gotta backpedal to try to save face. But even that little part that he mentioned about the so-called shop, come on, people are having the conversations about the music industry. You cannot sit there and play victim when your music is promoting Black death culture.
That's right.
So, you know, it's all hypocrisy, but the Most High is forcing their hand to reveal who they really are.
Brother Karras, what's your thought?
Well, it's the old adage, right? The guilty scream the loudest, right? So they were being too loud, and they were being they didn't have anywhere to go, and that brought the Most High literally backed them into the corner. And when he backed them into the corner, all that they could do was just admit the truth, because if they lied some more, then they were hamstringing themselves. Because, you know, shout out to Dr. Brown, look, giving honor to whom honor is due, right? He was bringing folks on up there from that community. But now you have to be understanding and wary of the wordplay that they're trying to do in terms of this inclusiveness and this inclusivity, right? Because look, religion can be far ranging and wide, right? So it can be a very, well, this person is this or this person's that, right? And that's going to show, well, you could be a Native American, you could be Latino, right? All this stuff. But then it's like, well, wait a second. You have E1B1A. Where's the bloodline? So when you're putting that on out there, it's an understanding that, yeah, they're giving some truth, but they're not giving the whole truth. Now, the problem that they have and what they're running into is, because they're going to give some truth, guess what's going to happen? They know there's a recompense coming. So now they understand that there's a recompense. So see, it becomes a lot harder for them to understand the conspiracy that was done for us, and trying to have that now, well, we don't need to worry about anything in Africa. Well, yes, you do. Now you have to go back to the Inquisition. Now you have to go back to where this thing started.
There you go.
These 600-700 years ago, that put us in this position, because this was a multi-generational war that lasted hundreds of years. And so now there's hundreds of years of bloodshed that they know is going to go all the way to the top. And they're part of the folks, but they're not the main ones. It goes to the seat of the Pope.
Exactly.
And that's what they're afraid of. You got to remember, see, what do they call the little those little eggs that they have, or the little dolls, those Russian dolls, Katisha dolls, or whatever, right? Well, that's how Satan tries to insulate themselves in those little Kashika dolls, right? You just keep popping one doll, and it's the same doll, and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller to the kernel. Well, now everything is being revealed and unraveled in this kingdom, because this kingdom spans worldwide. We just didn't understand how much insulation we have had and how this kingdom has insulated us. This thing spans thousands of miles and it reaches all time zones across this earth. And now they understand that their kingdom that they tried to perfect for these last 400 years is now falling apart. And this is judgment. So now the question is, now that they have to reveal this, what judgment is on the way? Don't think that this comes without consequence.
Exactly. Just to let you know, Moto X for Christ, we don't believe that the rapture is about to happen. All right. Second Exodus. Welcome. What's your thoughts?
Greetings. I just to kind of attach myself to what Karis was saying about the Vatican. Did you know that in order for the Ashkenazis to prove that they weren't Khazars, they indirectly proved that they were Romans instead? So there's a recent study by that was pushed by Dr. Henry Abersom, and he was showing that they have over 70% of their DNA autosomally and haplogroup that goes directly towards Italy. So they emerge from the Roman Empire, directly from Rome itself. And I don't know if you all are familiar with the Arch of Titus, but if you all are familiar with the Arch of Titus, they show Romans carrying out all of the books and all of the treasures of the temple. So is there a connection between the Romans carrying all of this Jewish stuff out of the temple and them saying that they're Jews?
That's interesting. I always thought that was the case.
I'm the way I'm looking at it is you got Romans who chose to become Christians. They call themselves Catholics.
Yeah.
And you got another group of Romans who chose the Pharisees' traditions and they call themselves Jews. Meanwhile, the ethnic Jews were enslaved throughout the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing that gets me is all of this stuff now is like they're acting like they always knew we were the people and accepting of us, and we always been a part of the community. Which, if you go to the pre-slavery, right? I mean, we all sort of hung out, right? The white Jews and the black Jews used to hang out together. But then after Rome put in that dumb diversos, everybody turned on us, and that's the real history. Let's listen to a little bit more of this video and get some comment.
Shot them cold dead in a kosher supermarket. So again, you're entitled to believe whatever you want, but I think we need to recognize that rhetoric can have real world consequences.
Can we talk about Hollywood again? Because it is true that Jewish people founded Hollywood, but there's a reason for that.
They did.
Right?
Some Jewish individuals, like called the Jewish entrepreneurs, who couldn't get, look, at the turn of the century, Jews couldn't get hired at law firms. Businesses wouldn't hire Jews. Jews couldn't buy homes in many places. The reason why we have so many of these medical institutions like Mount Sinai or whatnot is Jewish people founded them because Jewish people couldn't get treated. Medical institutions or hospitals wouldn't treat Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So Jewish people had to create their own entities, their own subculture. Again, there's a lot of commonalities with the Black experience in this country in this regard. And so when they couldn't get jobs, entrepreneurial Jews went to the West Coast to build out this new industry that now we call Hollywood, the entertainment industry, the motion picture industry. And so as an industry, some Jewish people helped to create it. They had some success with it, but at the risk of stating the obvious, there are 10 zillion people in that industry who are not Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vast majority are not Jewish, but they have had some great success there.
I only got a few more questions. Where does the stereotype that Jewish people control media, where does that come from? It
comes from these old tropes about Jews in power. I could show you white supremacist literature that's like 10, 20, 30, 40 years older from today that says Jews control the media. Now, are there some Jewish media executives? Sure, there are. Do Jews control the media? Not as far as I know. If they did, I think I get much better coverage. I mean, really. I mean, there is no cabal of Jews in an organized way I mean, we can't have a hard time running our own synagogues. I mean, there's no cabal of Jews running anything. Now, there may be Jewish people who have had some success, but Jews don't run Hollywood any more than like black. It's say all Jews run Hollywood is like making some stereotype or some generalization about black people in sports or, Latino people and something or other. I don't even know. It's just not, it's not right. And it may sound like a compliment, but the reality is when you see Jewish people being taken hostage, Jewish people being shot and killed, it doesn't feel like such a compliment.
What do you say to people who say that, y'all are proving somebody like Kanye, right? Because Kanye says, hey, Jewish people have all the power, and then he loses everything.
Well, look, the insidious nature of anti-Semitism and these tropes about power is Kanye can say these things. Jews have all the power, they're controlling everything. And if we don't get him, if we don't deal with that, the myth spreads and it takes root. If we do address that and there are consequences, he says, aha, proves my point. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. And we're kind of stuck. We can't ignore it because it has, again, consequences. And if it gets addressed, he says, see, proves my point. But I mean, that's just the insidious and ugly nature of anti-Semitism.
How does the ADL handle anti-Black racism from Jewish people? For example, if somebody in Brooklyn calls you and says, hey, I'm being discriminated against by my landlord, and the landlord happens to be Jewish, how does the ADL handle that?
Well, look, I mean, we address it head on. I think about a situation in Boston a couple of years ago where two young Black girls had their hair in cornrows at a private school. The private school said, you're in violation of our dress code, and suspended them, expelled them. So those young Black girls, their mom or one of the moms called the local ADL office. So what do? We brought in the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and together we took on that school. We filed a lawsuit and we won.
I was going to ask, at one time, especially in Brooklyn, there was a lot of tension between Jewish people and Black people.
Definitely.
Right? Hasidic Jews at that, I believe. Yeah. How have you guys calmed that down and created some type of peace in there? Because I don't hear about it like I used to when I was a kid.
I think there's still a lot of tensions there, to be honest, DJ Envy. I mean, the issues in Crown Heights, I think that's kind of what you're referring to. I mean, that way precedes my time at ADL. I didn't even live in New York. It was, I think, maybe 20, 30 years ago. But there's still a lot of tensions. And that often happens. I mean, Van Jones has talked about this. I've heard him talk about this. A lot of times there's fighting and there's friction because we're together. And that's what happens when we have communities living in close quarters. That being said, one of the things that I want to do and that the Nets announced was we're going to create community conversations coming off the Kyrie thing. So the Nets are going to sponsor. We're going to start in Brooklyn and bring together young Black boys and girls and young Jewish boys and girls and get them talking to each other. I think so often our communities don't interact, don't engage, don't hear one another, and I think we can improve upon that. So these community conversations that we do, I'm hoping we're going to start in Brooklyn and then we'll expand to other cities. Like again, our communities have such a deep history. I am proud.
A lot more similarities than we do differences.
Way more similarities. And there are those people who want to divide us. There are those people who want to tear us apart. There are those people who want to instrumentalize Black people against Jews, Jews against Black people. Like, we cannot allow that to happen. Again, we have shared values and we got common enemies. But more than that, I think we have a legacy. Now, look, Jews didn't come to this country on the hulls of slave ships. Jews don't have the history of 300 years of enslavement, 100 years of Jim Crow. We don't have that history in this country. Being a Black man in America has a kind of cost that being Jewish doesn't have.
And Jewish people have been able to assimilate in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can walk down the street and you don't necessarily know that I'm Jewish, unless, on the other hand, I'm an Orthodox person. And then I am more likely to be assaulted just because you can see that I'm Jewish than any other white person. And Jews have our own trauma.
So it seems I'm not streaming no more. I'm like, what did I do? I ain't do nothing.
Serious? Oh my goodness. I just saw second accident put that on there.
This is a conversation about whether or not we Israel. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this going because I'm going to put it on Odyssey. right? It's still being recorded, but we're not streaming no more. I'm like, I did not break policy.
But you see what they did to me off of just a flyer, okay? I mean, they're coming after us. It's not. It's no joke.
This is wild. This is coming from their lips. This is wild. Wow.
I'm like, literally, I didn't break no policy at all. All we said was that they agree with the people. And we're playing what they said. Period. That's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you better be. Look, I'm just saying. Hopefully they don't try to, pin you on something, because I knew that day when they told me all them European nations that they had blocked it. That's why I told you I was going to go live, but I wasn't feeling well. But the next day I said, I know they're going to try to pin something on me. And sure enough, strike. And they refused to allow me to actually go in and try to go, to what's that word? When you try to go in and you try to turn the strike around, they won't let me do it. They
try to appeal.
Appeal, yeah. They keep pulling me away from the page. They won't allow me to appeal it. So yeah, they're coming against us. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, see, we're winning and they're losing, and this is the tactics that they can play. But you understand, this is the only realm, right? They're losing in the spiritual realm, right? And they're losing all over. So the media and everything else, that's literally the last kind of vestige that they have for what they can kind of manipulate and control. And they're losing that daily.
So fam, seem like we're back streaming again.
We're back on?
I'm like,
y'all hear us?
Wait a second. Did I say something inappropriate?
I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I didn't do nothing. I'm like, literally, we didn't say nothing.
Right.
You're commenting on the video, and there was nothing anti-Semitic about it. I think just because a bunch of black folks were there talking, and we talking about ADL, they're like, oh, let's block the stream. I'm like, we ain't do nothing.
Oh, that's wild. Wow, that is wild.
This is getting crazy.
That's wow.
Ridiculous.
Here we go.
I think somebody was like, why did you stop the stream? They didn't say anything. See, look, and here's the other thing, fam. Don't say nothing about who controls the world or nothing like that. Please don't.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Right.
I'm like, to me, the biggest question I want to have answered is, one, if we're identified as Jews, how come they're not fighting for us? That's what I want to know. If we're identified as Jews, how come the ADL don't fight for us when the police shoot us in the street, right? Stuff like that. I don't have no problem with nothing else. I'm like, y'all want to identify as Israel. I ain't got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about that. I want to know if you're admitting. Look, I'd like to talk to Jonathan Greenblatt. If you're listening, Jonathan, I'd like to have you on. I would like to know why the ADL don't fight for us, right? Y'all admit we're Jews. A bunch of other rabbis admit that we're Jews. Why don't y'all fight for us like y'all fight for everybody else? That's what I want to know. Why we got to have the NAACP when y'all admit that we're Jews, the ADL should be fighting for us. I mean, am I wrong? What y'all think? And I know Sister Betty on him. Sister Betty, you better be good.
Yeah. She's going to have you shut down. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Her come up. And they put a policy on her. Oh, Betty Bent? Nope.
You there, Sister Betty?
You already know I'm here. Stop playing.
You know I love you, right?
I know.
Betty, I'm in the building. Sister Betty,
sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm in the deep, dirty South, and this is what it is.
You better be good here, Sister Betty.
Listen, y'all already know why they ain't protected us. Stop. It's just funny. Y'all stop. Come on now. How many people gonna have to come and say we the people, we the people? What are we gonna have to do? They done got blood, DNA, hair samples, spit samples.
Yep.
They done got our children placenta. They done tested all that too. Just stop. We know what y'all did with our placenta. Y'all know y'all got our. Come you won't mind. Because you know what, you know who we are. We are the the creator of mankind through the Most High Yah.
So, Sister Betty, let me ask you a question right quick.
Please.
So, if we're recognized now as Jews by the ADL and others, how come they're not fighting for us? How come we got to have NAACP? Can you explain that?
Oh my God! Now you know you ain't finna have the NAACP to support nothing for you. Stop playing. We ain't gonna even go there. Nope, them a whole bunch of boule Negroes. You know them people ain't walking for us. Keep it real. We ain't in no church. Keep it real. We in an assembly here. We don't even believe in all that mess. You know them boule, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and them people. What? Okay, I can't. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it because listen, they are going to have to admit, which they rather burn in hell. The Messiah, the Hamashiach, is a black man. You think they rather worship that demonic Jesus Christ symbol than they would to worship Yahushua Hamashiach? It's just not gonna happen to y'all. Panel, family. Y'all ain't no panel to me. Y'all my family. Come to Florida. Right, Karis? Listen, them people ain't gonna do nothing for us. The book told you that already. Stop
This is true.
them.
This is true. I got a second with Betty.
He said ain't nobody gonna buy you. Nobody.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. 100
Nobody.
right.
So we can just stop expecting this. But look, we living in the last days. They're gonna have to give it up. Cause Genesis 13 and 15 says those who led into captivity, they already know what their outcome is. That ADL is the wicked people that
Be
run
quiet
the
there now, Miss Betty. Be good now.
All right.
Better gotta be careful now.
Let me move on to Lady Lovingkind. I'll come back to you, Sister Betty.
All right, y'all.
Lady Lovingkind.
You may have to make a statement on Teo Ministries that the panel does not wholeheartely reflect
the views of the listeners and the panel participants.
Okay, that's safe. That's safe. That's the safe thing to do.
That's the safe thing.
Yeah, Teo Ministries does not necessarily subscribe to the views of the panel's participants.
Yes.
You need to say like you understand the emotional consequences for black folks that have 400 years of pent-up energy in them.
Come on. I used to pick oranges for a living. My people was migrants. I know what's going on. Come on. My grandmother came from South Carolina as a servitude slave to a white man named Buckshot. I'll never forget it.
Buckshot.
I'm 50 now. I'll never forget it. My daddy used to pick at my mama and say, "That's why your mama came to Florida. She was a slave." And I'm young. I didn't understand. But as I grew older, I knew that my granny came from the Carolinas as a servitude slave on her first 3 older children, my uncles, my mama, and my auntie. So my granny had to work off her slave debt to this white man named Buckshot. I remember him too. Big white man with a big cowboy hat. So I'm speaking from experience and what I know that my family went through to get here. So anyway, I'm going to let you move on, Theo. I'm sorry, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Sister Betty. Lady J, Lovingkind, be nice now. Welcome.
Shalom, family. Well, I mean, we really don't need anyone to tell us who we are. Because for myself, I mean, I met my granddad for the first time when I was 32 years old and he was about 89. And it was like love at first sight. And I was sitting there next to him and he fell asleep. And I was just looking at him, so bedazzled by my granddad. And when he woke up, I said, "Granddad, why are you so hairy?" Because now I like transgressed to like a 7-year-old. And he said, "My child, it's because I'm a Jew. I'm a black Jew." So, if our grandparents And if we have great grandparents that are still alive that can tell us who we are, these people know it cannot stay hid under a bushel. And this is why they had to reinstate you, you know, because we were all there in the chat and they're seeing, oh, no one's leaving. We better reinstate them, because that would give you even more to talk about. Because when they try and shut us down, shut us up, it makes it very clear and evident as to who we are. And, you know, and like I told you before when I was last on your show, I said, look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. And here we are.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen a little more to what they were discussing, and I like what's his name? Charlemagne said. He said, "How come, when things happen to us, nobody's there to fight for us, right?" So I know they have to walk a tightrope as well, but it was a good question, right? So let's listen to a little bit more of the conversation. Hopefully, I don't get blocked again by the stream. They're a bit too quick on the trigger, I think.
Which is different than American Black trauma or Black American trauma, but is real too. So I think there is so much that we've got in common. And, I'm proud of the fact that, again, my organization has a legacy. I'm proud of the fact that in a lot of ways, Black people have stood with Jewish people and they didn't have to. And so I think we got to move forward, and we got to move forward together.
What do you think about Jewish people who support Donald Trump?
Hard to explain. I mean, it is certainly true that Donald Trump has a Jewish son-in-law and a Jewish daughter. He has Jewish grandchildren, like he does. I mean, he has a closer relationship to the Jewish people than any other president in the history of the United States of America. Mm-hmm. By the way, the Abraham Accords, bringing together Israel and the UAE and Bahrain, that was a great thing, not just for Israel, but for the whole region. And, he called out anti-Semitism on college campuses. That hadn't happened before. Those are good things. Mm-hmm. And yet, he brought white supremacists into the White House. He trafficked in the kind of divisive language that not only alienated and terrified Jews, but lots of other minorities, from the Muslim ban, we said about Latinos, we said about Black people. Mm-hmm. He, from Charlottesville, when he said they were fine people on both sides, to telling the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, to telling these individuals who rampaged through the Capitol on January the 6th, wearing Camp Auschwitz sweatshirts. Like, some of them had shirts that said 6WME. 6 million wasn't enough. Mm. And he told them afterwards that he loved them, that they were great Americans. So
how do you punish that level of white privilege? That's a different level. It's easy to punish like the comedian or the rapper, but how do you punish that level of privilege?
I think the whole country's still trying to figure that out.
Man.
But, I mean, I have not.
They did it again.
They blocked it?
They blocked it again. Stream unavailable.
I mean, what? We can't restream that? Hold on one sec.
That's wild.
Jonathan Greenblatt got some power, huh?
What's the
wow?
What's the president of YT? It's a Jewish lady. What's her name? Oh, not Wachowski. That's the Matrix. Yeah, he got some power.
All right, so I don't know if this stream gonna come back. Apparently, they got an issue with me playing this stream. We'll continue the conversation because, I mean, it seems to me it's a good thing, right? Because it was about anti-Semitism and anti-Black racism. I don't see why they hit me up on this for what, right? I mean, what's the logic behind this, right? I mean, I can't show it. I'm like, everybody does it all the time. You're not hitting me for a copyright. I'm not hitting no policy violation that I know of.
Right.
Did we put fair use on it?
What's that?
Well, I think they're hitting you because you're effective. I mean,
I guess so, but
Yeah.
I'm like, here's the thing. They're trying to reach out to the black community, right? they went to the Breakfast Club, right? They titled it Anti-Semitism, Anti-Black Racism. How come we can't have a discussion about what they discussed? That's all we're doing.
Because
I don't
the
see where
Breakfast Club audience is a whole different type of audience. You're dealing with a lot of our people that are still asleep over there. They don't have anything to really add to the discussion.
So now the stream is back. Look, YouTube, let's do it this way. I'm not gonna play the video no more. Okay, YouTube.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
But understand, we didn't break any policy violations. The whole topic was anti-black racism and anti-Semitism. And so we were talking about what Jonathan Greenblatt was saying. That's it. So we can't have a conversation about that now. Now I'm breaking policy because I play a clip and we're commenting on the clips. That's ridiculous. Y'all ridiculous, YouTube.
Do you have one of those fair use tabs that they put in the corner of the video?
I don't think that makes a difference.
Really
But anyway, so we'll continue on since the stream back up, right? Obviously, I can't play no more of the clip. Now, I thought the clip was good. I mean, because the clip was the whole thing about how the Jewish community and the black community is supposed to try to get together and work together. So how are we going to get together, YouTube, and work together unless we talk about it? Right? It's ridiculous. Now, I bet you if I could get him on this channel and we can have a discussion, y'all won't be blocking me. So Jonathan Greenblatt, you're welcome to come on this channel and we can talk. We're trying to have a conversation. So family, panel, let me go to Zachariah Keith. So what's your thoughts on all this? I mean, it's really ridiculous. We can't even have a conversation no more. What's your thoughts on this?
It is ridiculous. I mean, okay, YouTube, since you're watching, what exactly do you want? Okay, so if you say that people should not be hateful and that people should have meaningful conversations, that's exactly what this brother is doing. He's not being hateful. He's having an intellectual conversation. You said you like free speech. Well, he's freely speaking. He's not speaking hate. He's just talking, asking good, intelligent questions, just having a conversation, and then you shut him down.
I can't hear
what
nothing.
exactly are you trying to accomplish? It's almost like you all are just throwing darts at the wall, just flailing around. So what exactly are you trying to accomplish? So anyways, and this makes the platform look bad. It makes YouTube look bad when you do stuff like this to innocent people who are just having an intelligent conversation with his people. That's all he's doing. He's not doing anything hateful. And you did it twice. So I don't know who's in charge of being able to press that button to shut the brother's stream down, but you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm sorry, but you should be ashamed of that. But anyways, I'm sorry, but that's not cool. As far as the, well, now I'm a little concerned about what I can and cannot say, but as far as trying to have a meaningful conversation is concerned between the different groups of people, that can be a great thing. Then the question becomes, well, what exactly are we going to be talking about? What would be the goals of the conversation? And who's going to be a part of that conversation? Are you going to have our so-called traditional leaders who are of a certain mindset lead that conversation? Are you going to decide who our leaders are and have them be a part of that conversation? Or will you allow people like Brother Yacoba to be a part of that conversation and maybe to lead that conversation? Because he's a leader. No, he's a leader that the people have decided is not, he and others, he is a leader that the people have decided is a leader. That's why they listen to him. Are you going to have him as part of that conversation, YouTube and these other organizations, which I shall not name because we don't want another block or more interference? But who exactly are our leaders? You don't get to decide that. We have decided. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but that's kind of what I think in general about this. I have more to say, but I think I'll leave it there because I don't want any, blocks on your channel or anything like that. So I'll leave it there.
So they say it was interrupted because of copyright content being detected. I'm like, there's a lot of copyrighted content out there, but you're able to comment on pieces of it, right? That's what we were doing. We weren't repeating the whole thing. We was commenting on it. And according to your policy, if it's for commentary purposes and satire and things like that, it's within policy. So how we get hit, YouTube? I'd like to have a YouTube member come on here, right, and explain to us what the rules are. Because how am I hit for copyright policy, breaking the copyright policy, when all we were doing was playing clips and commenting on it, which is according to your policy, unless your policy just changed overnight, right? It's a little frustrating. So I put the link, family, for Odyssey is pinned at the top of the chat. A lot of y'all not subscribed over on Odyssey, but we need to find a different place so we can have this conversation without being interrupted. I mean, really, if you're not subscribed, the link is pinned in the chat for Odyssey, right? And we can have this conversation on a different platform without getting hit for every little thing, right? Because to me, I don't think we broke policy. But anyway, so family, what do y'all think about the fact that they're admitting we're Jews? Now, it seems to me we're Jews, but we're Jews without the benefit of Judaism. We're Jews without the benefit of the ADL. We're Jews without the benefit of the protection of the law. I mean, what's y'all thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a strategic move. Honestly, it's a move that they are making because the ground has shifted underneath their feet. And how do you maintain like a sheen of whatever? And I think this is like an attempt to maintain, their status in the minds and hearts of millions of people around the world. So how do you do that? Well, you have to try and control the situation and incorporate, other groups into the conversation, namely us. But make no mistake about it. The positions are clear. The status is clear in terms of who would be controlling that conversation from that source. And they have no intention to make that us in any way. If anything, it'll be almost like an honorary degree or like an honorary mention, of them giving something to us. So they have no intention of actually sharing equal power or status or sort of bowing and allowing someone else to kind of take the lead. They have no intention of doing that. So I think that this is a gesture to save face and to look better in the eyes of people and to maintain a certain degree of control.
So,
I think
okay, I'm sorry, Sister Shana. I just want to say something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all go to Odyssey and subscribe, this particular recording will be there without the interruptions. So if you want to see it without the interruptions, you'll be able to go there. Okay, go ahead, Sister Shana.
Hit the nail on the head. It's kind of like Minister Ted, you said in the comments, damage control, but it ultimately has a real agenda. And I've talked about this before. I'm not going to say the name of the particular law, but where this is leading to. They need true Israel. They've always needed true Israel to ride on the back. He made a lot of comments about the proximity, the closeness of our two communities. But what's interesting is the talks about what they weren't allowed to do. So they had to create Hollywood. They had to create their own streams, their own medical institutions, all of that. It flies in the face of prophecy. of biblical prophecy for who the people are, who the true people are. Because on the one hand, you're saying, well, we weren't allowed to be able to do X, Y, Z, so we had to create our own space. But we know historically, just like Tom Hanks just talked about the other day, he didn't even know anything about Tulsa, Oklahoma, didn't know anything about Black Wall Street, period, until just a few years ago. So anytime that we have tried to unify to create our own, in the same way that they've been allowed to unify to create their own, they've been able to prosper economically. But when we try to do it, there's a continual pushing us down, beating us down, psychological, physical warfare that's happened to the point of destroying us. And the thing he talked about too, about the whole conversation piece of, well, we're not having enough dialogue. Well, we see from this stream right here, they don't want us to have dialogue.
Exactly.
But I was looking at Brother Ron on Truth Unedited's video, his last video, and he talked about how he grew up in New York, because they mentioned Crown Heights, and I don't know if he grew up in that particular area, but he talked about how him and his wife would pass by the Ish community all the time, and they would continuously, because they thought at the time they were the chosen, so they would continuously try to communicate with them, greet them, just so much as saying hi, and they would literally ignore him. So it's not on our part that we've ever been trying to look at them in light of disdain. We didn't even know how to look at them in light of disdain because we didn't know who we were. So all we knew growing up is that, hey, those are God's chosen people. So we've never been the ones to try to stop having a conversation with them. But now that we're waking up, they're trying to do this damage control because they know ultimately that prophecy, true prophecy, is being fulfilled. And in order for them to try to subvert true prophecy so that they could pass their laws, their in-laws, and I'm not talking about the N-word, y'all, you understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the other one. They need our backing. They need our verbal support. That's why they went to the platform that they went to. That's why they won't come to a platform like this. Because as the brother said, this is intelligent speaking. This is an intelligent conversation. You go to a platform where our people don't know any better, and you try to present yourself as a friend and not a foe. And so you have, oh, well, we like to engage with you. Oh yeah, you want to engage with us? Well, let's all be kumbaya moment. They don't want to engage with scholars. They don't want to engage with those who've actually done the work, because it will expose too much of who they really are, their real agenda. And at the end of the day, the snake whispering, the snake in the grass will be exposed because the grass will be cut, and they don't want that. So that's my thoughts about that.
So in that video, he was saying that, they're trying to prevent the division between the Black community and the Jewish community, right? And the other people, I guess the right-wing extremists, are the ones causing the division. Well, I'm like, okay, well, how are we going to heal that? How are we going to come together, assuming they really want to? How are we going to do that unless we talk? How are we going to do that unless we communicate based upon what was just stated? How are we going to do that if y'all block everything we say? See, it seems to me we just got to fall under and submit. That ain't going to happen. Brother Kerry.
Yeah, you can't throw stones and then hide your hands. This is the stones that have been thrown at us historically, and the hidden hand that they try to, they will try to outwardly denounce, but then when you actually look at the data and you do the analyzing and you see the historics behind this, then you see who the ultimate culprits are. So they were mad about Ron Dalton exposing everything in his work with Hebrews to Negroes, and then they were mad about the mention that this would even be, said amongst Black folks when his book and his writings have been out since 2018. So it's not the fact that it's about Ron or anyone else. It's literally about our bloodline being in a direct dispute of whatever framework that they're trying to put up. See, they can put up as many tents as they want. It's our blood. It's our blood. Just like Yahusha's blood. It's the blood. Our blood testifies against them. Amazing, isn't it? That his blood is upon what? Us as the children of those that had put our Savior on the cross. And now it's by the blood that's testifying against them, because we are that living witness. And that's what our blood testifies to. They don't like to talk about Lembas. They don't like to talk about Igbos. They just say, hey, you just came from the continent. You just came from Africa. Okay, well, if we then came from the continent, we came from Africa, then who was on those manifests? They look at slavevoyages.org. They see Yah and El and all these words that we had used in the Hebraic sense. They go into Nigeria to see about all the traditions that are still used so they can copy that. So all of these things are on out here. No, it's not going to, the stones are crying out. The rocks are literally crying out because that calcification, when that happened, that DNA was still in the rocks. That dolichocephalic pattern in our skulls is still being manifest. It's still showing. Same here, the same in Portugal, same in Spain, same in other places in Europe that we had been driven from, same in the continent, same in all the places there in ancient Egypt. All the places where we had been driven. And it still showed we were always a lowly class in those places. So who's who in prophecy? They don't like to talk about their DNA. They don't like to talk about archaeology. That's the furthest thing from them. So now, here they are trying to build the straw man argument, and it always falls apart.
So, daughter of Odyssey does live stream, and you can chat in there. You can't watch it on replay and have it synced up like they do on YouTube, but when it's live, yeah, you can comment and all of that live stream. So I've done it a few times. It's just that none of y'all want to come over there, so I got to stay over here for the most part right now. Y'all hard-headed, some of y'all. But here's the thing. When it comes to the Breakfast Club, they don't understand. We don't follow the Breakfast Club. We don't follow entertainers anymore. We don't follow the baseball players and the football players. That's a futile effort, right? They don't rule the Black community anymore. Same thing with the NAACP and all of these Black leaders that you all gave us. They have been excommunicated from the Black community, especially from the Israelite community. We have no king but Yahusha, period. There is no leader but Yahusha, period. See, they don't get that. You can go on the Breakfast Club. You're going to get some of the people who still sleep. But other than that, you ain't reaching the Israelite community. I think that's who they want to reach. What's your thought, Second Exodus?
I think you're right. They want to avoid it. It's almost like an ostrich with its head in the sand. But the threat is still out here. It's getting larger and it's getting bigger. More people are looking into their history. They're looking into their identity, and they're going to have to eventually address us directly. So they want to use the proxies to talk to the people, but eventually they're going to have to address us directly. So I find it really interesting how the Igbo are now recognized as Israelites, but majority of the slave trade, 20 to 30% of the Igbos were brought here to America. And so, you know, they still don't see us as Israelites. They still don't want to acknowledge that. And, you know, I find it disingenuous to say the least. So, you know, they're going to have to eventually, I don't think they're ever going to admit it. I think it's going to be a complete, it's going to be completely up to us to just constantly say it. I'll tell you what I did last week in seminary school. In one of my online classes, I told them everybody in my class was Korean or Chinese or Anglo-Saxon, and they were talking about their identity, and I just came out and I told them my identity, and I had the DNA and history to back it up. And don't you know that everybody's faces look very sad?
Really?
You know, and because I didn't want to, you know, get persecuted or anything, I turned around and I had to tell them that, you know, my identity, my Israelite DNA, my Israelite identity, my history, it doesn't matter if it's not in Christ. And so I saw a lot of their heads start shaking up and down, like, yeah. And so I thought it was kind of messed up when they get to brag about their Korean identity, but then I can't talk about the very culture that gave them the seminary school to begin with. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, Tail Ministries has been shadow banned for years. I mean, you can see we've been stuck around the same subscriber base and stuff. People don't get notifications, you know, and I think we're one of the milder channels, and I see other channels grow, and they're like more extreme than we are, right? And I think it's because we have intellectual discussions here, and they don't want that. See, they can deal with the people who are the extremists of the Israelite community, because they can make them look bad. They can make them look like they're violent. They can make them look like hateful people, but they can't do that with us. So they lower our ranking. They remove our subscribers. It's really aggravating. It really is. But it's part of what we're in those times, right? Because remember, I told y'all, I said, I don't see us being around too much longer. Right, because of what's happening, right, and because of the prophetic nature of the things that are happening, and what we're seeing in terms of the nearness of the second Exodus. I'm like, you know, what happens before the birth? More pain, right? More pain before the baby arrives, right? And that's what we're seeing, in the discrimination and the hate. And you know, we're gonna have the ad hominem attacks, and our own people gonna attack us, and all these things. And then Yeshua gonna come and say, no, these my people. Yeshua gonna come and say, look, y'all hated them, but I love them. That's where we're at, you know. And be honest with you, y'all, I'm so ready to get the heck out of here. You just don't know. I'm tired of it. I don't want nothing to do with this country no more. I don't want to have the debate anymore. I don't want to be fussing at anybody anymore. I'm ready to get the heck out of Dodge and go back to the promised land where my inheritance is. Now, I know my inheritance is Christ, but he also gave me some land. So what y'all think? What y'all think? And this for anybody. How do y'all feel about all this? Are you tired?
You know, well, oh goodness. I think a lot of us have been tired. Like our souls are tired. Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? And you mentioned about how you know, this channel is moderate, for sure. And you are reasonable, very reasonable with your content. If well, since we know they're listening, so if they have been listening, they should know that, but they probably haven't. Maybe, you know, they just decide to start watching you. The reason they are targeting you, you mentioned that they leave some of the more extreme sites, you know, up, and then they allow them to grow, probably help them grow. Who knows? Because they're easier targets, in terms of like being a turnoff, and they know it. They know that when most people see people who are extreme, you know, on any side of the spectrum, they'll kind of back off, because most humans are not extreme. Most humans are pretty moderate about things. So that's why they leave them alone. They want them to grow, because they know they're going to turn people off. But when they start to when the masses start to hear from reasonable brothers like you, people who are intelligent, people who are smart, people who are reasonable, they're scared you're going to say something smart. They're scared that when you talk, because you're not going to be crazy and weird and scream and have people kiss your feet, anything like that. But when people hear you talk, they may say, that makes sense. That's true. Wow, he provided some resources. He provided sources. So we know he's not just making this stuff up. That's what they're afraid of. That's why they don't have conversations with intelligent brothers. That's why when this whole controversy went down, if you notice, and you've covered it, boy, they would not say the name of Ronald Dalton's book. They would not say the name. It's like the book that we shall not name. They would not say it. It's almost like someone sent a text message, like a group text message to all of the media. Most of them, a few of them did publish the name, but most of them would not say the name. And I was like, wow, you guys just won't say it. Why? Although it did get a lot of attention, it did blow up. They did not want to mention it because they knew it was reasonable. In fact, recently, the CEO of Amazon, the current CEO of Amazon, said that he watched the documentary. And he said that there was no reason to take it down. And he said that he is Jewish. The current CEO of Amazon is Jewish, and he said that he did not see any reason to take it down or to try to stop him, Ronald Dalton from being able to speak. So that's what they're afraid of. That's why they won't interview Ronald Dalton. He was not interviewed by any of the major networks. That's why. They talked about him. And he may have grounds for a lawsuit. I don't know, because they kept calling it anti-Semitic, but I don't know. But anyways, but that's why. Because they are afraid of intelligence, and they've always been afraid of intelligent brothers, Hebrews, always, because it's the intelligent people who can provide answers, not just emotion and anger and frustration and say crazy stuff. Like it's the intelligent people who won't usually resort to violence. So that's why they try to silence you. So this is all a big game for them. And they can try to suppress it all they want, but this is a movement of the Most High. They don't seem to understand that. They won't be able to stop it because it's the Most High who has his hand behind it. And they can't silence everybody because a lot of people are talking about it. So so those are my thoughts on that.
The interesting. Go ahead, Sister Sean.
Real quick, did you notice how he told on himself when he was talking about Donald Trump?
When he said what?
He told on himself when he was talking about Donald Trump. He mentioned Jared Kushner, being ish. And then what did he say about his wife? He has a Jewish wife. He told on himself because she is supposedly a non-Jewish Caucasian who converted to the religion of Judaism. So he told on himself directly that it's not about lineage, it's about religion. It's about converting to their form of religion. Whereas on our end, this is about lineage. This is about bloodline, as Kara said. Our blood is what is testifying against them. So I just noticed that. And I wanted to put that out there because I said, he just told on himself right there.
And what happens when you have something in a container and you just put pressure on it and pressure on it and pressure on it, which is what they're doing to our people? What happens? Everything that's in start coming out, right? That's what's happening. They don't realize the more they push down on us, the more we come out. The more they push down on us, the more we're seen. The more they push down on us, the more people hear. The more they push down on us, people like, what's going on over there? Why they hate them? Why are they talking about them? Is it true? Before we were the crazy people. Now it looks like we the people who may have been accurate. So let me come back to Sister Betty. She's been quiet. See what she got to say about all this, Sister Betty.
Family, all I want to say before I go back in this preschool and have them little kids looking down my throat is We live in a upside down world. The powers that are on this earth right now are all wicked. These people cannot come out and continue to allow us to say, we are the people, we are the people. They already know we're the people. They already know that. Stop. The Vatican knows it. They all already know who we are. If the Vatican didn't know it, why would they be over there in that dungeon that they call it, whatever they call it, worshiping the image of a black man? Do you not know the Russian icons? And if you get, I can't remember the other title of the other book that I have, that they know that these people are black. Let's stop. We'll be done racked our brains and shaking our heads, over some things that we know they know. I know we're having these conversations, and they're intelligent conversations, but family, let's not for 1 minute forget that they know who you are. The Bible says all the curses that's on us, we wear them as a marker of who we are. We are the only people that wear Deuteronomy 28. We're the only people that are in Abram's dream that was in slavery. They know who we are. Scriptures are fulfilling itself. All these plagues are on the earth. You can hide them all you want. These plagues are over 200 plagues, not just the 10 that they did in Egypt. Stop praying. We don't need to keep on wrecking our heads. We need to be getting together to see what we can. Let's do a conference. Bring all of us together as a conference, as a family, so we can start making some plans. Let's stop battling these ADL and all these other groups about who we are and what's going on. Them people ain't gonna say that because they gonna have to give up some of them billions of dollars that's been funneled to the JEW, whatever you want to call them, people over there in that homosexual dirt that they live in. These can't be y'all's people. Y'all say that type of lifestyle is an abomination to him. Those people can have the biggest homosexual parade on the earth.
Sister Betty, be a little nicer, please.
Okay. Sorry. How could they be his people? They don't follow the Hamashiach. We know they don't think that he is the Hamashiach, the Messiah. Stop, please. Them people have the biggest community party with the rainbow of any other nation on the earth. We know them people ain't none of them. If they can say that they are the people, then they're calling the book a lie. We know who we are. Let's get together, family, and let's try to heal. I know we're doing this in December. We're doing that. I understand, but at some point we need to get together and start contemplating and making plans on what are we going to do as a nation to move forward. The ADL ain't going to do nothing because they got to give us some of that money. Yeah, they saying, oh, yes, some Ethiopian Igbos are Jews, but we ain't giving them no money. We ain't going to give them none of that money that's been funneled into this country over the years. 1948, that they've been funneling money through there. The Rothschilds gave them that land, the Balfour Declaration. Come on. We know what's going on. That wasn't never y'all land. You took it from the Palestinians. Stop. Okay, with that being said, family, I don't mean to be, but I'm just like that. I'm a battler. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Just like they're saying, right, in the chats, we need to go to Odyssey. If y'all want to have an open conversation and have our own community and do our own thing and not be interrupted and have them try to control us, we really need to go somewhere else where we can do that.
I'm on Odyssey, so I'm good. I'm straight.
Yeah. But I don't understand this need to be tied down to YouTube. I really don't. I mean, our people just seem like they tied to it. They stuck to it, right? I mean, what do you think of Brother Karras? What can we do to get people over there? Because I mean, we're not going to be able to have open convos here.
You probably just have to make a community post that discussions going down, and kind of go from there. But yeah, you're right. They're all stuck. They're all stuck on Odyssey. Or excuse me, they're stuck on YouTube. Yeah. So it is what it is, and you know, you have to play the code word game, you know, on YouTube, just because you know, look, this thing got shut down twice in the same live, not just once, but twice. You know,
Yeah.
so it's starting to get crazy on out here, and you know, the thing is, it's not for the sake of us, okay? Because we understand this. It's for the sake of those that are trying to figure this thing on out, that are waking up and they're seeing there's something that's wrong, right? And now, because this is the biggest platform really on earth, right? They're coming through and they're asking these legitimate questions. Well, who's who that's really in the zoo? Oh, that's really not Shemitic. It's really not Semitic. This is the definition of Semitic. So now you have to understand everything. People aren't just going to be content with just following a lie. That's that unless you're a fool. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, no, they're going to continue to dig, especially a prudent person. Nobody wants to just. It's like a bill, right? Who wants to pay a bill that they've been paying that's $115, you know, every month, and then for some odd reason the bill is $400? Well, what are you going to do? You're going to call. You're going to ask. You're going to find out about the bill. Let me find out why this bill is so high. Well, this bill is high because of this. Well, what's that? It's this surcharge. What does that surcharge do? Well, you know, you have to look it up. Then what are you going to do? You're going to look it up, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Nobody wants to just pay and pay and pay, but that's what we've been doing. We've been paying so much and reaping so little here because we realize we're reaping in a place that's not our place. This is not your land. This is not the promised land. So you're going to get the minimal return on your maximum investment of the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into this country for 400 years. That's what the Most High is waking us up to. Keep thinking you're going to have a retirement. No, they definitely told you they want to do that cryptocurrency mess. Keep thinking that, you know, everything is grand and happy. Not really. They know war is on the horizon. So it's really up to us, and it's up to the people that are waking up. We have a responsibility. You have to open your mouths. You have to say something. What are they going to say? You're a liar? Oh, okay. Well, let me show you why it's not a lie. Most people can spout off at least 5 or 6 different scriptures, at least. Even if you've been in this awakening for, you know, 3 or 4 months, you can spout off at least. Well, there's Joel. You can spout off at least, you know, some minor prophets, some minor books. You know, so you know this is where we're on that. But yeah, we're gonna have to definitely get to other platforms because the censorship is definitely being raised.
Yeah, and it's interesting that their policies are not applied equally. You know, the stuff that other channels show, I can't show and comment on, right? It don't make no sense. You know, but you know, the thing is, you know, this is to be expected. We knew this was going to happen, and we really just gonna have to move over to Odyssey now. Somebody mentioned Rumble. The reason why I don't like Rumble is because it's too right wing for me, right? It's too many of those right wing evangelicals over there. I guarantee you they will shut me down. And I'm not extreme in my opinion, but they will probably shut us down as well. You know, because they so right wing over there on Rumble. That's just my opinion. I mean, you know, what do y'all think, panel? I mean, y'all, some of y'all been in Rumble. You think that's a viable option?
I think it's pretty viable. I say that we're Jews over there on Rumble. Nothing's happened to me.
You got a channel or just commenting?
Just commenting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube, I commented on YouTube before and they blocked like 2 or 3 of my accounts. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's how it go. So I think Zachariah wants to comment, Brother Keith.
Well, yes. What we think about Rumble, there are a lot of like evangelicals over there for sure. Like that's where that's like a second house for them. But at the same time, um, I just recently started a channel over there. And from what I've seen, they don't bother people as much. They love their freedom. They love their free speech. Um, so they tend to leave people alone, at least for now. There was a documentary that came out recently, which I'm not going to mention the name because you know how they like to censor everything, but it has to do with what's been going on, the past couple of years. I put it that way. And it has, at the time I checked, at the time I watched it, it had over 12 million views over there on Rumble. And when we tried to find the same documentary on YouTube, they blocked it. The people would try to like keep posting it, and then they would keep blocking it over and over and over again. So, Rumble has its pros and cons. I suspect that over in Rumble that some people probably would try to like kind of sabotage the message, like flood the messaging with like their evangelical beliefs. But that really doesn't matter because you can combat that, just ignore them, or maybe block some people. You'll probably have to block a whole army, but at least you can say what you want. And as long as your army comes along with you to that platform, then you should be good to go in terms of free speech.
Okay, so I saw something one time I was looking at Rumble. I thought you had to pay for something like I think the live stream comments or something like that. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know about those details. I know that generally speaking, Rumble is free for users, just like YouTube. They register, just like they did with YouTube. It's free. I started a channel over there. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I started it. And it was free. It was easy, kind of like YouTube. And from what I hear, they also have like, other incentives for people coming over to Rumble. And a lot of people are because of this. So a lot of other platforms have been shut down or suspended by YouTube a lot. Which, they're running people away in a lot of platforms. Now, YouTube is the biggest audience on earth. I mean, I forgot how many people they have, subscribe.
Billions.
Yeah. So that's why people use it. But for people who keep getting targeted and silenced, a lot of people are going to Rumble. That's why a lot of evangelicals are on Rumble, because they are the ones to speak out against like some of the events over the past 2.5 years. And they have gotten silenced, and that's a home for them. And that's why. So to be honest with you, it may become like a second home for us, as long as they stay with their First Amendment like convictions and not bother people. But that's why they are over there, and I get it. And I went through some of the channels on Rumble, and the content, and they can say what they want, which of course has pros and cons. But at the same time, you can play the game and be able to say what you want to, and have your followers as well. So it mirrors YouTube in a lot of ways.
Yeah, someone was asking why we don't live stream on our website. It costs money. I'm like, just to store those files and pay for the bandwidth and all that stuff, and storage, it ain't cheap. If y'all want that, y'all gonna have to give more than you give. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Because they got people that be like, I listened to you for 6-7 years since you've been. I'd be like, but I don't remember seeing you give. But anyway, that ain't my business. Sister Shonda.
Do those apps, Rumble and Odyssey, I'm gonna say apps. Do those websites, do they have apps? Like, I think what makes YouTube so convenient is the fact that, it's just, press a button.
Yeah, Odyssey has a mobile app, and I think it's better watching out, because some people have trouble watching Odyssey for some reason on their computers. But with the mobile app, they don't have any problems. I don't understand that one, but it's not, most of the people can watch it anywhere, but that's what I noticed. I have the Odyssey app on my phone. It's pretty good.
Because I think, like, I get notifications from you in my email from your website whenever you're posting something. So, for those of y'all who are out there or not, subscribe to Tail Ministries website, make sure you subscribe there, because if you're going to do something on Odyssey, you could just send a notification through email. That way people can more easily access it, those especially who check their emails on a frequent basis. So, that might be a way, along with what Kara said, posting in the community tab, that you're going to be over on that side. So it can kind of slowly, drag the people over. Because I understand exactly where you're coming from. I got like 2 or 3 channels here on YouTube, and, I'm in the hundreds of subscribers, if on those alternative channels, versus my main channel. And so it's almost like, you have to retrain people, because this is kind of where they met you. This is where they met us. And this is kind of like where we get stuck.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, it's weird, but yeah, but I'm subscribed. I think I'm subscribed to Odyssey, only to you. I don't even think I listen to other content creators. I go on BitChute, but I don't think they do like lives. But I mainly go on there to deal with, the issues surrounding the last couple of years, and hear from like Stu Peters and things like that. I haven't even been on there recently, but yeah, I think that might be something, to consider, is just putting those notifications out from your website, from community tab, and then that way at least people will be notified, in that way.
Yeah, and somebody said that use YouTube for notifications, but mind you, YouTube don't send out a lot of notifications. And Sister Letitia says some videos Jacoba does not open up easily, and I believe she's talking about on Odyssey. Some people say that. I don't have any problems personally, but some people, I've heard that before. But I've also heard that if you have the mobile app, you don't have any problems, right? So you might want to try the mobile app if you have troubles watching videos on Odyssey. I don't understand it. It might be that whole blockchain thing, But I do think we need to get off of this platform and get over. The more people that start to leave YouTube, the less restrictions you will see. Right now, they're the big boys in town. And unless people start, going other places, they don't have to listen to you, right? They can do whatever they want because it's their platform, right? So I think that's what we need to do. And I can tell you this, look, if y'all want me to stream more on Odyssey so we can have a more open discussion, at least get the followers up to 10,000, right? I'm not even 1,000 over there on Odyssey. I've been telling y'all for a few years now, I got the Odyssey channel, and the Odyssey channel set up. I got playlists and it's all organized. You can do live stream, but y'all don't want to come over. So what I'm going to do? That means
it's them dopamine hits.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to be on YouTube filtering our comments and stuff we want to talk about. Y'all never gonna hear about. There's stuff I wanted to talk to y'all about. Can't talk to you about it because y'all ain't over there on Odyssey. And if I talk about it on YouTube, I'm gonna get shut down. That's just the way it is. Let's get final comments so we can shut down. We're gonna start with you, Sister Betty. Final comments.
Yes, Minister Jacoba. Family, I'm already on Odyssey. I've been went over like last year or so. And Minister Jacoba is absolutely right. I know I need to go over there on another channel, even if it's just me and him on there.
Yeah.
I'll be done got him shut down for real. So
Yeah.
I just encourage everybody, please, family, let's go over there so we can make plans on how to move forward as a community. We got a pretty good, decent community here on Minister Jacoba and Tayu's channel. We ought to just try our best to move over to. And I just pray to the Most High that He move most of everybody that's on this live chat today to move over to Odyssey so He can minister to us, to a family. He needs that. And I just don't understand why all of y'all on this channel, sitting down, listening, being fed and edified with everything that they say on the panel, and you won't even hit the like button.
Exactly.
You won't even hit the share button. I don't understand y'all. You sit here and gawk at it, and it's like, what kind of spirit is over you that you can't take your finger and hit the like button or hit the share button? My sister was just in the preschool saying, what are you doing? And I told her. She said, you say you're going to send it to me. And I said, I did send it to you. Get on. So why do you not hit the like button and the share button? YouTube did not notify me. I'm Let me stop.
Thank you, Sister Betty.
Okay, let me stop.
Sister Lady J, final comment.
Well, if you could please put a link for the Odyssey, I will definitely register.
It's in the chat right now, pinned to the top.
Okay, because I'm in the backstage, I don't see it.
Okay.
But yeah. Well, one, I'd like to touch on Hollywood and the music industry, and I think as a people, we really need to turn away from all of those things that are worldly, because as the word says, what profiteth a man when he gains the whole world and loses his soul? And I think watching, I don't even want to say their names, but you know who, you know, look at how they were basically stripped of some of their millions and not being able to play games where they lost money. You know, this is, I think God is showing us that we need to let go of our worldly stuff. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to us all coming together on the 31st, because I really think we need to turn away from this world and look to the Most High and really, truly repent and just let go of the things of this world and really keep his commandments and statutes. And I think that will be when we will really see even more of a shake-up. So yeah, that's all I have to say. It's getting
Thank
late
you.
for me here in the UK.
All right, really appreciate it. Brother Keith.
You know, it's been in the news, but Elon Musk, you know, of course, purchased Twitter. And last week, I think it was like Thursday, Friday of last week, he's been releasing like some secrets, basically, like the inner email, like the company emails that were sent back and forth. And he also revealed that there were some government agencies that had a backdoor to Twitter, so they could actually block people and, you know, things of that nature. They could, you know, recommend that people be blocked, or in some instances, some agencies were able to directly block people or remove posts and things of that nature. So I mentioned that because people, I'm going to sign up for the Odyssey channel. I encourage all of you to do it. The brother has posted the link. Sign up for it, because, you know, in any other platform he chooses to use, follow the platform, support the brother, because he will need it and we will need it. With what's going to be coming to you know, this country, to this world, if what Elon Musk has been publishing is true, that type of thing is going to happen more. They're going to do more censoring. They're going to do more targeting, more suspending, more silencing. So any platform that speaks truth or clearly explains what's happening in terms of Yah's judgment, things of that nature, will be targeted in one form or another. Now, Elon bought Twitter, but there are a lot of other platforms that are not bought by people who don't like that type of thing, right? So we need backups. So follow the brother. He will continue to do what he has been doing. I mean, you know, just look at the past. He has the receipts. You know, his heart is into it. He's doing the work of the Most High. He's been doing the work of the Most High for a long time. So, you know, his heart is in it for the right reasons. So follow the brother, support him. And I'm going to sign up for Odyssey as soon as I can, you know, but I didn't want to try to type and talk at the same time, you know, because I want to actually make sense when I talk. So, but I will, you know, so whatever you post, I will follow. I encourage everyone else who's listening to do the same. Because it you know, now my greatest concern is for the new people, if you will, because a lot of people are awakening to the truth kind of later in the game, if you will, like like now and like right before what's coming comes. And they're going to need some help with understanding it. And that's just the truth. So I would also encourage you all to encourage other people to also follow this ministry on all the different platforms. So, Teo on Odyssey, whatever he decides to do, just you follow him on those different platforms and encourage other people to do the same. Because what happens if you saw what happened today twice? What happens if they decide that, you know what, they're going to shut the channel down tomorrow? What happens? Then what? So if you appreciate this channel, you appreciate the work the brother has been doing, support him financially, give, because things cost money. So give, help him, support him so he can continue to do the work of the Most High.
In a good measure, I could have been streaming over at Odyssey. I don't do it because it takes a little more effort to set up, and so since a lot of people don't show up there, I just don't do it. But maybe what I'll do is, beginning at the first of the year, maybe what I'll start doing is every Sunday I'll do a live stream on Odyssey and see how many people come over. And then, we can increase from Sunday to Monday to, what I'm saying? And just start increasing that way, the more people that come. So
sounds like a solid plan.
All right. Second Exodus, final comments.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good plan. I look forward to that. I've been signed up to Odyssey. I signed up because of what you went through. I think it was like last year when they started like striking your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I signed up for Honesty. But this show looked like it was going to be a really, really good one. I will check out the Breakfast Club interview because of that, with Jonathan Greenblatt. And the last comment that I want to mention is Dr. Henry Aberson. I don't know how many people know about that professor. But Dr. Henry Aberson is a Ashkenazi Jewish professor, and he's going to talk about later on today, he's going to talk about how African Americans are actually descendants of Israelites.
And who's this guy?
Dr. Henry Aberson. Now, he's a scoffer.
Okay.
But he has to address it because of what's been happening with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. So people are starting to ask questions, just like Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
People are starting to ask questions, and so they have to address it now. So he's addressing it today.
Okay, you got a link you could put in there in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because I signed up for his live stream, it's kind of like an invite kind of thing.
Okay. Well, just put his name in there, then we can find it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. All right, thanks. Brother Karras, final comments?
Yeah. If they're coming for your platform.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a matter of time.
The Sister Shonda and I are definitely next. But, I look at it like this. Any type of trial is a good thing. And here's the thing. If you ain't getting any opposition from the enemy, then you're doing something wrong. Okay? If you get opposition from the enemy, that means you're doing something right.
Man, I must be doing something right. I'm fighting all the time. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You see what I'm saying? So this opposition, this is real. And it's going to stay real for a long time. And I think that this is really the final straw. Because now, again, they are trying to they're trying to run defense, but it's too late for them. It's too late. Cat's out the bag. And when you go on a major platform and you say, Hebrew Israelites. Well, what do you mean Hebrew Israelites? They have to admit the truth. See, it's going to be they know eventually they're going to have to bow down, eventually. But it's going to be a work in progress, just like eventually we'll all be waking up. So, you know, here's the thing. The word is clear. You can't argue scripture. The Most High's word is clear. It is abundantly clear. Now, the problem is they're mad because the Most High is doing his thing and they can't stop it. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Brother Kara. Sister Shonda, any final comments?
Yeah, we all gonna be sitting on Zoom together, pouring libel
Yeah.
for our channels.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Listen, I know how you feel. I 100%. It's like Second Exodus said. You know, we was all excited today, like, oh man, let's do this, and then they just kept shutting it down. And I think that, you know, that's a part of the strategy. You know, is the, you know, because it's a part of the psychological warfare of trying to deter us from speaking truth to power. And you know, that should be another sign to us that, you know, our time is near. Our time is near, and we praise Yahuwah for that. You know, everybody's already said it. Y'all sign up. You know, Odyssey, if you haven't already signed up. My channel is currently under a strike. I'm hoping they don't do me like they did Ron Dalton and just, you know, strike me out next week.
I think we all might end up that way, but go ahead.
I'm hoping no. I'm hoping they don't. But you know, we know that, in all seriousness, we know that we're vessels of the Most High. You know, one plants, one waters, he gives the increase. So nothing is going to happen that does not happen because he has allowed it to happen. So we just got to continue to stay steadfast. Nobody is going to be able to stop the truth. We've said it before a couple weeks ago when this whole situation went down in the mass media. We don't know how much time we have on our platforms, but that's why those who are listening, y'all got the juice. Y'all got to be out there, and y'all have to push the truth, speak the truth in love, everyone to his neighbor. Because if we don't have platforms, that doesn't mean that the truth should just stop. The truth should be silenced. You have the truth. You know the truth. The truth is your savior. And he said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So you have the responsibility to be his ambassador, whether you're doing it on a platform or whether you're doing it out in your local communities in a grassroots effort. But continue to be light, continue to be salt, be the salt of the earth. Don't lose your savor. Pray for us that we continue to press forward, because the warfare is real. So, Brother Yakoba, thank you so much for everything that you've been doing and you continue to do. And we're just going to continue to lift each other up. And the same goes for Minister Tayu and all of my brothers and sisters who are out here on the front lines warring for the truth of the kingdom of the Most High. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Sister Shonda. I want to thank everyone who came on the panel and everyone who participated in the chat. Understand that we are at the end. You know, my eschatology doesn't, according to my eschatology, I don't believe in the rapture. I don't believe that, personally, I don't think Yeshua physically coming back to earth right now. I think he's going to deliver us, you know, from the land of our captivity and bring us back to Africa. And I think it's near, right? I think it's near. And the scriptures state that the night cometh when no man can work, right? So we're coming to that point as well, where the night is coming where you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to say anything. They're going to shut down what you say. They're going to shut down your platform. They're going to shut down your phones, right? You ain't going to even be able to call your family member and talk about stuff. AI going to be watching you on your phone and mute you, right? Or shut down your communication. That's where we're going, right? And those with eyes to see can see. Now, like I said, it's very interesting that a lot of people over there on those other channels, those Christian channels, can't see nothing. No, you know, I understand there's some stuff going on in the last days, but, you know, there ain't no second Exodus. There ain't no 400-year prophecy, but yet all this stuff coming to pass. I don't know about you, but I'm making myself ready to meet the Most High, right? Whether that's going to be, face to face, up in heaven, or whatever, because we in those times, right? We're in those times where those who aren't afraid, those who speak up, those who do the work without fear, some people going to suffer persecution. That's just part of it. Now, can the Most High protect us from it? Yes, he can. Right. And many of us he has protected and are protecting. That's why some of us still alive today. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, because what we're dealing with is untold evil on a scale never seen before. Y'all can see it. Them Christians can't. And like I said, if they can't see it, then does that mean they're wicked? Right? Because Daniel says the wise will understand, but the wicked will not. So I'm like, well, how come you don't understand? Does that mean you wicked? You live in some kind of foul way? You're not obeying his laws? You're doing your own thing? That's how I see it, right? So, family, love y'all. Please support the Dry Bones Project. Go over to their channel, support their channel, subscribe, like, share, support them as patrons, Cash App, and everything, right? They're building that relationship on the continent. Some are building parks, all these type of things. So that's what it's about. And I know if you're anything like me, some of y'all tired. I'm tired. I get tired. Always fighting. You get tired of fighting. I'm gonna tell you, the only thing that keeps me going is the Most High. I'm telling you, it is because I could easily just go and say I'm going to sleep. I ain't gonna do nothing no more. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna do my own thing. But what is it, Sister Shana? Like fire shut up in your bones?
That's what's up. Fire shut up in your bones. You're like, dang, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going on.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, love y'all, family. Share this video, and I'm gonna download this and put it on Odyssey, so y'all should be able to see the streams. Those who come later, who missed the parts that were interrupted. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah.